Everyone, Gainer here from HDB Upgrading Strategies, and welcome back to my Facebook Live episode 32, right? And I think today probably you'll see a little bit something different because probably you will see two screens, right? And I think it will be much easier and better because I can probably present this, the details, stuff like that, so that you guys can see much clearer in my computer screen, right? And what am I going to share with you guys today? Today is my Facebook Live episode 32, and the topic is about why is it a bad idea to actually rent out your HDB while you are renting another place to stay, right? I think this is something really very common, especially for Singaporeans. And one of the reason I heard is, there are people who probably they have a fully paid HDB flat and they wanted to rent another place or probably a condo just because they want to feel what is it like staying in a condo, or probably they just want to use the facilities, right? So they can use their HDB rental, right? And probably because they already fully paid their HDB flat, so they can use their HDB rental and use that money to actually pay their rental of their condo, right? If you understand where I'm coming from. So these are things that I'm going to explore why probably this can be a bad idea. Now, in fact, if you have been following my Facebook live videos, I actually touched this particular topic in my Facebook Live episode 19, right? In which I shared about parents who actually they are going to register their kids in their for their primary school, right? So they actually rent a place that is near the school so that they can, within the distance, right? So that they can ballot for the primary school, stuff like that, so that their kids can have a chance to go to the school. But I also shared about why probably that can be a bad idea, right? But today's topic is a little bit different. I will really dwell into this in more detail, which I'm going to show to you the numbers, and so that you can have a clear understanding. Okay, so without further ado, we will head back to the computer screen. Okay, all right. So once again, for people who are streaming in, right? If people are streaming in, this is my Facebook Live episode 32, which is why is it a bad idea to rent out your HDB while renting a place or another place to stay, right? Now, first of all, you have to understand, probably this will be your HDB, and this is the place, a condo, or probably another place that you are renting, right? So we have to understand this breakdown, right? So the tenant, because you rent out your HDB, right? The tenant actually pays you money, right? Because you rent out your HDB flat, and they pays the money to you, right? While you actually pays the money, right, to your landlord, right, which is your landlord. So from this equation, we have to understand one important thing is who is the biggest winner, right? So who is the biggest winner? If you can look at this equation again, right, you can see that the tenant actually pays you the money, you collect the rent, and you also rent a place, and eventually the rent pass back to your landlord, right? So at the end of the day, you must understand this thing. Your landlord is the one that collects all the money from you while you are renting your HDB flat. If you get where I'm coming from. So let me break it down for you, which is much easier. Now, for example, if probably you rent out your HDB for around $2,500, right? So if you rent for 3 years, for 12 months, right, it's actually $30,000. And for that 3 years, collectively, the rent is actually $90,000, right? And this $90,000 actually, you actually pass it back to your landlord, right? Actually pass it back to your landlord. And you will understand that in fact throughout this process you probably don't even earn anything at all, right? So what are the disadvantages of doing this, right? Now you can understand that in fact for renting out your HDB or renting another place, you wasted 3 years of opportunity cost. So what is this opportunity cost? The opportunity of reinvesting or looking buying another property, swapping your HDB for another property, right? Which is of a better performance, right? This is what I mean by you probably has wasted 3 years of your opportunity cost, right? And of course, there is a possibility that your property value remains stagnant or probably even drop, right? Of course, having said that, I don't probably, rule out the possibility that your HDB prices or your property that you are renting out will goes up as well. But let's look at, what if the disadvantage is probably what if your property value remains stagnant or actually it drops, right? So what can you do actually, right? In fact, you can actually swap your current property, meaning to say you are stopped and you probably stop renting out your HDB flat, you swap your current property to another better performing asset. But by doing so, right, by doing so, you probably will understand that you will lose this rental that you're collecting because you're renting out your HDB for $2,500 and for 3 years is actually $19,000. So we have to establish the fact that you probably will be losing $90,000 because you can't rent out your current HDB while you're renting another place of stay, right? So let's look at what if you really swap your property and what are the possibilities of you swapping to what type of properties, right? Of course, you can first look into an EC, which is an executive condominium, right? Or you can actually look to swap your property, your HDB or your current property to another condominium, right? Or probably you can look into swapping to 2 condominiums, right? So these are the 3 few possibilities that you can look at. Now, of course, you can do other things like, you can probably look in landed or, other properties, but let's stick to these 3 main properties, right? And the key objective of this is after swapping, right, are we able to beat the 90,000 losses, right? Because you actually cannot rent out your HDB flat while you're renting another place, right? Provided this place that you're renting from is also around $2,500 a month, right? Okay, so let's relook. Now let's look at the first thing, which is an EC, right? Now, I actually extracted probably a few ECs so that you can compare, right? Let's look at this Twin Waterfalls Executive Condominium and we look at the profitable transactions, right? In fact, you can see that the owners actually bought around 2012, right? And they actually sold in 2019 or 18. And these are the profits that they actually made, right? In fact, Twin Waterfalls is going to MOP soon, I think. There will be more units out. And I believe that the homeowners there have probably also made a tidy profit, right? And for this, it's actually proven that you can also beat this $90,000 of losses that you are renting from another place because of the rental that you pay, while you cannot have the rental from your own property, right? So this is one of the EC, right? Let's look at another EC, which is Asperina, right? You can also see from here that Asperina, the profits that the owners actually made around $200,000, right? They bought in 2011, 2010, and they sold in around 18 or 19, and they also made around $250,000, and that's why they also beat the losses of this $90,000, right? And let's look at another EC, which is One Canberra, which is at Sembawang, right? You can see that the One Canberra EC, these are the profits that they made, even though the around 140,000, right? You also beat the losses, right? Which the homeowners bought in 2013-14, and they sold in May, or in 2019, and also beat the losses of this 90,000 that you are renting, you're paying the rent, right? And let's look at another possibility. Let's say if you're not able to swap this existing current property to a condo, to an EC, probably because your income ceiling is higher, you can't buy an EC. So let's take a look at a condominium, right? So I also extracted this condo, which is High Park Residences. Now you can actually see the High Park Residences, the homeowners, most of it, they also made profits of around 400 to 300,000, right? Of course, there will be much lesser profits like 200,000 and probably even 100,000+, but I'm just extracting an example so that you can understand, right? And the homeowners actually bought in 2015, and within just a short period of time in 2019, which is just 4 years, the homeowners there actually made a profit of around 300,000 as well, right? and they actually beat the $90,000 of losses, right? Which is the rent that you're paying, right? Let's take a look at another condo, which is Bartley Reach, which is also a condo, right? Bartley Reach, those homeowners who bought, those investors who bought, they also made around, 200 over thousand, 300 over thousand, right? They also bought in 201314 and they sold in 1819, right? And you can see that it also beat the losses of the $90,000 as well, right? Of course, I will not be touching on the two condos because probably if I have the one condo, you probably will understand if you're buying two condos, right? Now, what I want to say in this particular topic is that it is proven that this is an option that you can actually explore. Because I realized that a lot of people probably they just rent out their HDB and they use the rent from their HDB to rent, they use the money to pump into another place that they want to rent out, which is they probably find more convenient to stay, right? And the money actually is channeled from your tenant to your landlord eventually, right? So in between, you probably don't earn any funds and any money. What you actually gain probably is the lifestyle you gain, right, for that 3 to 4 years. Other than that, probably you gain from the convenience, right? But other than that, you probably in between, if your property value don't increase, you probably may be the one losing out at the end, right? Of course, having said that, those property projects that I actually shared with you, different projects will give you different results, right? And of course, we have to be very selective in choosing the right project for you guys. We have to be very selective, especially when now these days in 2020, there are quite a lot of new launches as well. And I also do understand that there are also many concerns from the property buyers today, whether which one will probably give me a better potential or probably should I stay in the sideline, right? So I do understand probably some of the property investors or buyers, they just stayed at the sideline, right? But then again, I just want to prove in this Facebook Live episode 32 is that this option is actually something that you can explore, right? Which I think if you choose the right project to invest, probably when you swap your property, your current asset to another asset, you probably will see the gains, right? That's one thing I want to highlight to you guys in this particular episode, right? With that, if you guys don't have any questions, I hope you enjoy this Facebook Live episode 32. And with that, thank you so much for watching and good night. See you guys again. Bye bye.